Greetings from Miami Beach.
I'm riding with my RV, wherever I want to be, 'cause I'm free in my RV.
Yes, you've heard correctly. Today we're going to Miami Beach, South Beach to be exact. Miami Beach is actually located on a barrier island just a couple of miles east of Miami. In order to get there, we are taking the McArthur Causeway across the Intercoastal Waterway. We pass right here next to the Port of Miami, right here to the right, considered the cruise capital of the world. And to the left, we have this popular anchorage with all kinds of sailboats. Do I see the wings? These islands in the Intercoastal are of course home to the very, very rich and famous. This one, to the left, Star Island, it's home to the Stephans and many other celebrities. Here we are, crossing the final bridge into South Beach, and you can see Fisher Island in the distance. I'm going to turn south right here because I want to park near the southernmost point of Miami Beach, and we'll work our way north from there. There's the famous Joe Stone crab, as we are desperately looking for parking. Yep, found one. We walk along the beach walk towards South Point Park. This right here to the right is the back of Nikki Beach, a very famous luxury beach club which started out here actually and now has locations all over the world. Hey, check out the beach and one of the many colorful lifeguard stations. It is pretty windy, actually perfect weather for kite surfing. We arrive at South Point Park, and this is called a Government Cut, the entrance to the Port of Miami. Fisher Island, only accessible by ferry, and one of the most exclusive pieces of real estate in the world. And downtown Miami can be seen in the distance. And there, at the port, you can see all the cruise ships lined up, getting ready to depart this afternoon. Let's walk on the South Point Pier, which was recently reopened after a decade of neglect. This is the southernmost point of South Beach, and we are treated to great views of the sandy shore. Yeah, Miami Beach. Check it out. Looking north, we can see all the large hotels, even the famous Fontainebleau. Then the Art Deco district, and to the southern end, the condo skyscrapers. Let's start working our way north from here, as we walk towards the famous Art Deco district. Ocean Drive, where we're going specifically, is the most famous part, and what most visitors think of as Miami actually, probably because it has been featured in so many movies and TV series, but this is not Miami. Miami Beach is a whole separate city, even culturally quite different from the mainland. And here we are, Ocean Drive. Those balconies, they probably have a pretty nice view of the ocean. And check out all the Art Deco facades on all these hotels. There are over 900 historic buildings in South Beach. Remember Scarface? Well, that building with the 3 round windows, that's where the chainsaw scene took place. As you can see, Ocean Drive is nowadays really a mile-long beachfront tourist trap, lined up with hotels and restaurants, but it's still very pretty and picturesque. What Willis? New Mango's Cafe. I actually used to hang out in this area a lot when I used to work at a store nearby, back in the mid-90s, I would say. Mango's Cafe, the original Latin nightclub on South Beach, and it has been around since the early 90s too. We are approaching 10th Street, and this is the famous thermometer where everybody has to take a picture so they can brag that it is over 80 degrees in late December.
Let's continue.
10th Street is more or less the halfway point, and here we have the Clevelander. I don't know about these days, but this place used to get pretty wild. I think we should go in, take a break, have a beer.
Salud.
Over here we are of course going to pay South Beach prices, so it is $8 per beer, plus tax and gratuity for a grand total of $21. Yep, it is almost noon, so it is starting to get a little busier. This right here to the left is the Versace Mansion, also called Villa Casa Casuarina. This was the home of fashion designer Gianni Versace from 1992 when he bought it until he was murdered in 1997, right here in front of his own house. Very sad. It is nowadays a luxury suites hotel, an events venue, and a fancy restaurant called Gianni's. Here's the Victor, another very, very expensive hotel. The Palace, the first and only gay bar on Ocean Drive, and that place has been here since the early 90s too. The Tides Hotel. It was the police station in the movie The Specialist, and it's been in a bunch of other movies like Ace Ventura and some Miami Vice episodes. And who can forget the Carlisle as the bird cage. The Netherland is another pretty iconic hotel down here, and we are approaching the northern end of Ocean Drive, where the larger, newer hotels, are located, some of them preserving portions of the original facades. This is it. We've reached the northern end of this mile-long segment of Ocean Drive, and now we're gonna walk a little bit west. It looks like they are opening a Señor Frogs at this old Art Deco building. Used to be a nightclub, and then a famous deli. We are approaching the corner of Washington Avenue and Española Way, and here you have it, the famous Cameo Theater. Here's Española Way, which is a pedestrian street with several restaurants, and we are getting hungry. It was our intention to eat here at Tapas y Tintos, but they are closed, so instead, I think we're going to try the Mexican place on the corner. From our table, we have a pretty good view of the Cameo and the Don Quixote. For a touristy place, the quesadilla is surprisingly good actually, if a little expensive. We are definitely paying tourist South Beach prices. Anyways, continuing with the movie filming locations, well, these apartments right here next to the Cameo Theater, that's where Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, used to live in the movie. And we continue walking north on Washington Avenue towards Lincoln Road. And how about renting a Porsche to cruise in style down Ocean Drive? Here we are, Lincoln Road Mall, one of the nation's first pedestrian roads. And of course, there are plenty of shops and restaurants, boutiques, galleries. Here's, oddly enough, the Miami Beach Community Church. As you can see, there's a great ambience everywhere. Here's the Lincoln Theater, which dates back to 1936, and it has been recently actually converted into a retail space. When's the last time you saw a menorah and a dreidel made out of seashells? Only in Miami Beach. This pretty Art Deco facade here is where the Apple store used to be. I guess it's T-Mobile now. And it wouldn't be a pedestrian mall without a street musician. We continue walking north through this mostly residential neighborhood away from the tourist crowds because we want to see the Holocaust Memorial. There's actually a very large Jewish community here in Miami Beach, and in the mid-80s, a committee of Holocaust survivors conceived and commissioned the construction of the memorial, which was completed in 1990. The sculpture was designed by architect Kenneth Traister, and it is this outstretched arm reaching for the skies as hundreds of small human figures cling to it and to each other. Very moving memorial. Okay, let's continue walking back east towards the beach. And there's a lot of construction going on here by the back of the convention center. I wonder what they're building. And here's a rare view of this construction site. Since all these buildings are historic, new developers must conserve the Art Deco facades intact as they were, even if the rest of the construction is going to be brand new. Here's the Plymouth, another famous iconic Art Deco hotel. Here we are by Collins Park, and there's even a bust of Cuban national hero Jose Marti. How about that? And there's the Bass Museum of Art, hence all the street art throughout the park. I am particularly intrigued by these colorful rocks stacked on top of each other. It kind of looks like an ice cream, I don't know. This is the corner of Collins and 21st Street. And north of here is another area of larger condos and hotels, yeah. We of course walk towards the beach and turn back south on the beach walk. Such a magnificent day. Very nice weather here in Miami Beach. From the beach walk, we get to spy, we get glimpses on the backs of some of the more luxurious hotels. 17th Street, we decide to leave the beach and go back towards Collins Avenue, and we stumble upon the famous Delano Hotel. It used to be owned by Madonna. Here's the Loews, and we're just gonna wander inside. We exit through the back door, and there's the beach again. Look at all those people kite surfing. Okay, we've come full circle, as we are now back on Ocean Drive, walking south towards our parking spot. Once again, we passed by the Versace Mansion, the Clevelander, Ocean's 10, which is actually a pretty happening place, the famous thermometer, the breakwater. Here's once again the colorful Mango's Cafe. On the corner of 8th, we have Wet Willie's, famous for the strong frozen drinks. We used to come here quite often in our younger years. Check it out! The cruise ships are leaving port. Let's walk back to South Point Park and see them. Here's Smith & Wollensky's, a famous steakhouse, and here we are, by the entrance to the port of Miami. It looks like there is one last cruise ship coming out. It is the Norwegian Sky. Okay, let's head back to Miami. And check out that sunset. Oh my gosh. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our short walking tour of South Beach. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I think our next video will be from the Tampa Bay area. You know, the Tampa RV Show. See you there. All good things come to an end. But before you go, if you liked it, do me a solid and give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Also, remember to subscribe if you haven't and check out my other videos. You can also visit the blog at travelingrobert.com, join the mailing list, and follow me on social media at travelingrobert. As always, thank you so much for watching and see you on the road.
Riding with my RV.